Pee-wee's Big Adventure. His films have entertained millions.
It's showtime.
Their heroes have become pop culture icons. Their appeal is at once international and universal.
Attention, Kmart shoppers.
Yet each bears an unmistakable personal imprint, unlike any other in the world of cinema. Their heroes and images are recognized and admired around the world. And yet, until now, the man responsible for their realization, a young filmmaker named Tim Burton, has remained an enigma. Tampa, Florida. Burton's fanatical devotion to fantasy has led Tim and dedicated cast members Johnny Depp, Winona Ryder, Dianne Wiest, Alan Arkin, and Vincent Price to join together in bringing his upcoming suburban fantasy, Edward Scissorhands, to life.
Hello? Hello? Why are you hiding back there? You don't have to hide from me. I'm Peg Boggs. I'm your local Avon representative, and I'm as harmless as cherry pie. Oh, my.
Don't go.
Those are your hands? Those are your hands. I think you should just come home with me.
An extraordinary character set against an outrageous landscape, battling the trivial conventions of everyday life. A common thread through all of director Tim Burton's films that he weaves with dazzling effect in Edward Scissorhands.
I think it's a personal movie for him because the character of Edward is Tim in a way. The feelings that Edward is feeling and the turmoil and passion that's inside of him, I think, is inside of Tim too. And I think he was such a perfectionist on the movie, more than I've ever seen him be. And I've never seen him so emotional about work before.
In the director's chair, the man who invented Edward Scissorhands.
Well, he's got this kind of dark appearance, you know, with a hidden face. His face seems to be hidden by his hair, and he's got the dark, you know, he tends to wear dark clothing, and it's like there is this whole other powerful person hiding inside this, you know, unassuming-looking guy.
Our quest begins here in Burbank, California, at this quintessentially unassuming suburban home, where Tim's parents still live today. Through a stroke of unusual luck, these never-before-seen Burton family home movies offer us unprecedented insight into the formative years of this budding motion picture genius.
Okay, Nick, get this one.
Here we see Tim's father, Tim's mother, his little sister, and older brother, posing for a typical family portrait, along with young Tim. An average all-American boy who ironically grew up in the shadow of Hollywood's great motion picture studios. It was a shadow that would follow him for the rest of his life. We asked Tim Burton's parents to describe his unique childhood.
Oh, well, I'd have to say that he was a perfectly normal boy in every way, I think.
Well, as a matter of fact, he was so normal it was, well, troubling. Almost scary, eerie, freaky. Weird, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, weird.
Oh, in a very average kind of way.
I guess for someone who's had the upbringing that he has, he's about as normal as you could hope for.
Whether as a result of being the middle child or as a reaction to being raised in Burbank, Tim was forced to seek an escape from what he regarded as an oppressive reality.
Tim and I are manic depressives, and we love black. We love to sit in a dark room and talk about graveyards. In fact, Tim used to hang around graveyards, he told me as a kid.
At a time when most children look to heroes like astronaut John Glenn or quarterback Joe Namath, young Tim chose to live vicariously through the exploits of Hollywood's master of the macabre, Vincent Price.
He saw in me a persona of the unreal, somebody who he knew was a guy named Vincent Price, but at the same time, this fellow was a little unreal, and that intrigued him. He wanted to identify with somebody who was real but unreal.
As an animator at Walt Disney Studios, Burton paid homage to his idol with his imaginative film appropriately titled Vincent. Through the technique of puppet animation, Vincent tells the tale of a fictional 7-year-old boy whose personality parallels that of his favorite movie persona, Vincent Price. Burton would later cast Price as the creator of Edward Scissorhands.
I'm only in just a cameo shot, but I was enormously touched. Anybody who looks at a cookie that's shaped like a heart and then looks at a machine and says, I'll turn that machine into a person with a heart, that's my idea of a really good story maker.
In those early days, did you have any inkling of the tremendous success your son would become?
I'd have to say no. Definitely not.
No way.
Especially since it was around that time that he started to change.
What she means is mature.
A busy Tim Burton took time out from the Edward Scissorhands set to reflect on his formative years.
People always use the word weird with Tim, and it's...
Tim was always what you'd call an individualist. In those days, we call it a nuisance. He always wanted things to look a particular way. What are you gonna do? You gotta let kids be kids.
He may see things, he may see and do things at an angle, but, you know, I think I do too, and his angle may be, may have a bunch of angles. I hesitate to say he's off beat, because he is obviously off beat, but I mean, that always connotes, a little girl just banged her head.
An obsession with the intricate rituals of everyday life. A theme which runs throughout Burton's films was most likely developed in his early childhood.
Oh, Tim was always such a big help around the house. Well, especially in the kitchen.
Timmy, it's time to cut the turkey.
Why, on Turkey Day, he always insisted on carving the bird.
Oh, he's a children.
Bill, could I have the salt and pepper, please? Bill, could I have the salt and pepper, please? Thank you. Kevin?
The one thing that Tim always pushed was the purity of the character. Reacting to things, in a very pure way, and not, Edward doesn't know what anything is. It's all very new.
Those things are cool. I bet they're razor sharp. One karate chop to a guy's neck.
Kevin. Edward, would you like some butter for your bread? Great.
Another of Burton's themes, equally as prominent but much more difficult to trace, is his dogmatic devotion to the innocence of romance.
Well, what about another day?
No, this is the day. Now remember, we got the heart. You look lovely. You look very nice, baby.
But We could send it to her.
No, we're not gonna send it. You're gonna take it now. No more buts. Get
Well,
up there.
She's probably not
She's home. I called this morning. Go. He had such a crush on this pretty little girl that lived across the street. I remember one Valentine's Day, he couldn't wait to get over to her house to give her his heart. No, come on. Get going. Are you getting this, honey? Hi, baby.
Oh, hi, Tim. Here. Thank you.
But I guess she just wasn't ready to make a commitment.
I told you.
How would I describe Edward Scissorhands? I've never read anything quite like it. It was the story of this outsider told in an entirely new and different way, a way I had never dreamt of. We'll cover up the scars and start with a completely smooth surface. It's everybody's fear of being an outsider or being different. Being alone, being cast out. All those things are touched on, and then yearning for someone to love and be loved by.
Well, when he kept upsetting my daughter on Valentine's Day, I thought, this is some kind of kook, or maybe a medical freak. But then one day our little Scooter got mauled pretty bad by the dishwasher. The vets gave her up for lost. But Tim there, he rushed over, and in no time at all, he stitched her up, as good as new.
Well, it was on his 8th birthday.
Oh, no, don't, honey.
No, see, this is when his situation started to snowball.
Yeah, but in a very gradual, normal kind of way.
No, I remember because that was the year that we hired Ho-Hum the clown for his party. Well, Ho-Hum wasn't exactly a kid's clown. He was later arrested on a 12-state crime spree. But boy, he sure knew how to put on a show. Well, he used balloon animals to reenact famous events from world history, like the assassination of Julius Caesar.
Oh, what a great idea.
And the Nuremberg trial.
You're a mean Nazi. I was only following orders.
Ho-Hum, I think, was the first real adult influence in Tim's life. It was Ho-Hum who first opened Tim up to an appreciation of art.
He might be a god. I don't care if he's Pluto. I'm going to knock that silly grin off his face once and for all.
I tell you, Hercules, it must be Antaeus, son of the Earth Goddess.
Then I'll change my way of fighting.
Thus, a chance exposure to Ho-Hum the Clown injected young Tim with a lifelong curiosity about the endless possibilities of art and foreign cinema. But if Italian New Wave filmmaking was his first love, the films of post-war Japanese neo-realism were soon to become his true love.
I want to see every single living human out of this town by sunup tomorrow morning.
Films like the classic Yongari, Monster from the Deep, instilled Burton with the importance of resonant characters, meaningful dialogue,
I think we have 3 tank divisions available.
and above all, utter realism. Tim was uncharacteristically outspoken when we asked him what lessons he'd learned from the now famous Japanese classic.
I think more than anything else, Yongari has taught me that Japan is a very dangerous place to live.
All of a sudden, Tim was fascinated by anything visual or artistic.
Remember that Christmas?
Oh, yeah. All the kids had a chore to do. Our little daughter would bring the cookies to Santa and the carrots for the reindeer.
Hi, Daddy.
And our other son hung the stockings. But Tim, he insisted on decorating the tree by himself. He was always using his head. Well, even back then, he paid great attention to detail.
possibly he would get coal for Christmas in his stocking, but that he would like it. That would be sort of his favorite present.
Let's go surfing now, everybody's learning how. Come on a safari with me. Come on a safari. Early in the morning we'll be starting out. Some honeys will be coming along. We'll load up the woody with the boards on the side and then going out singing a song. Come on, baby, surf safari. Surf day, surf safari. Surf day, surf safari. Surf day, surf safari. Let's go surfing now, everybody's learning how. Come on a safari with me.
Well, we were so surprised when Tim became a music lover, like his aunt and uncle.
Come on, it's your turn. Come on, honey. Okay, come on now, let's go. It'll be fun. Come on, sweetie. Let's go.
Come on, Tim, we know you can do it.
Well, there's always tomorrow.
Oh, come on,
Oh, you
Tim.
can do
Come
it.
on,
Oh,
you
look
young
at that
little-
little
Come on, you.
bag.
Come on, Timmy. Yeah,
What's that doing after dinner?
For somebody who's deaf, he's extraordinarily talented. He likes to watch the musicians play, and he gets a big kick out of that. And usually, depending on how they look when they play, he'll decide that it's fine.
We asked Pee Wee Herman who the real Tim Burton is.
I'd have to say, definitely there's no one out there like Tim. He's one of a kind. He's an original type of guy.
We caught up with Ho-Hum the Clown in his cell at the Coachella County Prison for repeat offenders.
It was only after the cops picked me up outside the sheep ranch near Ojai that I realized this terrible, terrible mistake had been made.
No, we're here to investigate your influence on a young filmmaker named Tim Burton.
Well, wait a minute. You're not Mari Povich.
I tell you, working with Tim was one of the great experiences of my life, but he's very demanding, which is his right. I mean, he's a genius, and he puts people through a lot. And if I ever work again, if I'm ever physically capable of working again, I'd love to work with him.
Once again, we asked wunderkind Tim Burton to reflect on himself.
Tim was a very loving little boy, despite all his symptoms.
Traits.
Well, especially towards his sister. Now, I can honestly say that I have never seen an older brother treat his little sister the way Tim treated his. It was only a science project, but you could tell that Tim was getting a little carried away.
We asked special effects and makeup artist Stan Winston about his collaboration with Tim Burton.
The wonderful thing is that when I would make a suggestion, I knew Tim was pleased with everything. As I got excited, Tim would get excited. There was this parallel. I mean, the more enthusiastic I became, the more enthusiastic he was.
With a film about to be released, many directors would look forward to some well-deserved rest and relaxation. But Tim Burton has leaped right from Edward Scissorhands to his next and most personal project.
Yeah, Tim came to me with this personal story of his, you know, and it's really risky. And it deals with every kind of hot issue that a studio head would like to avoid, racial, political, social. There's really no way of knowing that he could pull off something as sensitive as this. But, you know, he's a great filmmaker, and I knew he would really care, so I greenlit his picture. He's calling it Two Heads, One Soul.
I know we're pushing very hard today, but we're touching some very heavy truths here, and I'm very, very excited.
I'm excited.
I'm real excited.
All right, then I'm just gonna roll the camera, and we'll see what happens, okay? Let's get an end slate, Tom. Let's go.
Two Heads,
Playback.
One Soul.
And action.
Once again, Tim Burton achieves a casting coup by pairing NFL Hall of Famer Jim Brown and television actress Heather Thomas as the emotionally tormented Siamese twins.
This way. I want to go this way.
We cannot. We must go this way.
Why do you hurt me?
Stop suppressing the female.
I've composed a haiku about duality.
Damn it, I don't need your haiku. I understand. I am black.
And I am woman.
You know, I think I might just be able to hold it in until we get home.
Home. Let's go home.
Together.
Cut. Print it.
The fruition of a lifelong dream and the raw talent of a genius with artistic sensibilities culminate finally in a few precious moments of magic on film.
But eventually, Tim started to blossom.
Yeah, to blossom like a dandelion or something. It was amazing.
Funny, we could never figure out why.
Oh, but we sure remember when. Because it was about that time his aunt and uncle decided they should move back to Brooklyn.
Tim Burton, a quiet force, an intuitive genius. But perhaps the mark of a true genius is one who prefers to let his work speak for himself.
Wait a minute. I think I've figured it out. It all comes from the fact that I've always wanted to bring a little happiness into people's lives.
He's a highly imaginative character. It seems clear that his awareness of what we call reality is radically underdeveloped.
Eddie, you take my very breath away.
Do you have a girlfriend?
Is there some special lady in your life?
Hey, call a doctor. He skewered Kim.
Just a scratch. The power of Satan is in him. I can feel it.
Drop your weapon! All along, I felt in my gut there was something wrong with him.
He isn't like anybody else. He thinks in terms of fairy tales. He thinks in terms of things that aren't real, and yet are very real.
Me. I can't.
Tim Burton, a man of many things. I can't talk anymore. Tim, I love you, and I forgive you. I mean, it was worth it, man. Thank you. Power to the people.